A few days ago, I was on a call with a painting contractor that was paying $107 per lead for Angie, and he was getting 11 leads a month. 8 out of those 11 never pick up the phone, and 2 are just shopping around, and 1 actual legitimate opportunity. And at $1,100 per one opportunity, and he still refused to invest in something else that will bring him more money and more results because it felt too risky. And in this video, I'll be explaining the real reason why those contractors tend to refuse to invest in their own growth. By the way, my name is Kareem Al-Fadi. I own a marketing agency where I work with contractors, scale them up by creating a pipeline for them, bringing multiple six figures every single month. And in this video, I'll be dropping the description of the video, my Instagram. That's where I get connected with all my contractors with my content out there. Go ahead and check it out and drop a follow, or you'll see a booking links off this video. You can go ahead and do that, and we can talk about your numbers and see what we can do for you. So let me tell you the difference between those contractors. So the contractors actually refuse to invest in their growth, not because they don't have money. It's not because they're not good at what they do. It's because of that physiological reasons in their minds that it's just not the best option for them. While we're talking about that they don't have any other option. I'm a contractor myself. I do own a roofing company, and I still do exactly what I do for my clients, and I still get sometimes lower results than my clients, the ones that do remodeling, where they're averaging ticket 25 grand. My average ticket is 12 grand. So for me, I do drop twice as much to even compete with my best contractors that we work with that makes literally $450,000 just off of the pipeline that I did create for him. And he has different other pipelines, organic and referrals and stuff like this, that adds up to 50, 60,000 every single month. So that guy is making 500,000 plus every single month. But here's the thing. So let's get back to that physiological problem. It actually affects every single contractor regardless of how much money they make, because they just feel that $7,000 investment feels too risky for them, and $300,000 months feels safe. But when you actually go ahead and tell them, okay, what is going to be the guarantee that you're going to be making 300 grand next month, exactly how you did this month? Especially in the on season during the summer, a lot of contractors do that organically, because it's the season where everybody gets the most amount of jobs. They make $300,000 June, July, August, and it dips down all the way to December where they make $0 and 0 jobs. But that 300 grand is not guaranteed, as I said, next month. So the 7 grand is the only way that's gonna make sure that you're making that 300 grand next month. So you see that imbalance. It just right here, the most expensive thing for those contractors. And I want you to think of it like this way. I'm going to be right now talking about the first physiological wall, I would say, or reason that those contractors are, refuse to invest in their own growth. The ego wall. Think of it like this, as in this picture. So there's a wall, and you've been in business for 20 years. And you're the contractor on this side. You actually, everything they work 20 years to build is on the side of the wall, on this side of the wall, where the contractor stands, and everything happening in their market is on this side. So this contractor is refusing to actually see what's happening on the other side and how he could get those customers. And that wall is the only thing that's keeping them apart. Is the only way to just go ahead and see, okay, this is what's been happening lately. This is how people are reaching out to other contractors. Let me just get on something like this. But they don't ask themselves this question. They keep that ego high, where I've been in business for 20 years. I've been getting referrals. I've been friends, word of mouth, neighbors. But here's the thing. Neighbors do not give out recommendations anymore. I know you might just get 2 calls every 6 months telling you, oh, you did a work for my neighbor, and my neighbor gave me your contact information. That's why I'm reaching out to you. But this thing doesn't happen very often at all, like at this time. People right now, because the market changed around, it's not because people became less sociable. It's literally because the market changed around, and people right now just use their phones and look up the contractors, and the best one that shows up the first one that shows up, not the best one, is the only one that's getting the job. So that homeowner, as I said, never ask neighbors for recommendations anymore. So you might as well just meet very old couple that literally saw their neighbors getting a job done and you were there doing the job for them. So they decided, well, this is how he did it for the last 60 years and this is how you've been getting leads for the last 20, 30 years in business. So it worked out well for you, but what are the chances of this happening? As I said, a few times every year, that's not even enough to keep your business up and going. So that ego wall is not protecting you or not protecting the contractors. And whoever shows up first, as I said, before the experienced contractor gets the chance. So it's making them visible in their own market. That's the thing. And the second reason right now, which is the burned skeptic. So you went out and decided you wanted to do marketing. You came across a marketing agency, and that agency, you didn't have the best experience with them, and it was just a bad experience. So that agency burned your money, and because they were running ads for you, and there was no sales process behind it, there was no qualification system connected to this one. So you've been getting raw leads straight to you on a sheet telling you this guy submitted the form, you tried to call them, this guy's ignoring you, and this guy's saying, hey, I saw that you submitted a form with us, how can I help you? That's what you say. And they say, oh, I didn't submit a form. Where did I submit a form? Then you say, you submitted a form with us on Facebook. When you saw our ad, we do this and that. He says, oh yeah, you're a contractor. Okay, I did submit a few other forms, a few different contractors. How much is this gonna cost me? So right now, you see the difference without a qualification process that you ended up the first question that your customer, that homeowner is really just makes the only sense for them is that how much the project will run them. And if they have different quotes from different other contractors, they're going to go with the cheapest option, no matter what, no matter how good you are, no matter how experienced you are. They don't really care. They only care about who's cheapest and who can save them more money. So the lead, as I said, went to dead box. And whenever you tried to do a follow-up process, it just turned out that you wasted your money and those people almost not picking up the phone. So I'm not saying that getting burned by an agency is not real. It's actually real. And the pain of wasting money is actually real because trust me, in my roofing company, I wasted a lot of money, even though I scaled my company within the first year to $350,000 every single month. Even in December, we did $280,000. I want to ask you one question. How many companies do you know that are in less than 2 years that make $280,000 in December? Because you've been in business for 20, 30 years and you still don't make those numbers in the summer. So let's just be for real. So I'm telling you, I got burned. I tried the TV commercials because I saw my competitors doing that. And I got burned for exactly $22,000 in a timeline of 3 months. That didn't give me a single lead, a single results. But right now I know that this thing doesn't work for me. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. I tried it. I'm young in business. This is where I learned. This is where I know what works and what doesn't work for me. Or maybe that agency that was the advertising agency wasn't the best option for me. So if someone later on came to me later on and told me we're going to do TV commercials, I know how to make it work, I will still consider it because I'll still, in my mind, know that everything works out. It just, you got to give it to the right person that will make it work. So the conclusion of me drawing something like this from that wrong experience is to show you that they didn't get burned, that, the other contractors that are actually making money off of ads, Google ads, Meta ads, direct mail, they didn't get burned by marketing, and you didn't get burned by marketing over here. You only got burned by the operator who didn't know what they were even doing. So it's not that marketing didn't work for you. It's actually the person that was doing it for you wasn't the best at it. And therefore, you wrote off the entire channel, which I'm talking about marketing, as a bad experience and you never want to do it again. Even though the platform works, system works, and that's like a contractor getting literally a bad supplier and deciding, oh, materials don't work. That's the closest description I could just say it. And what didn't work was as I said, the person that was running it and targeting works out. I landed $3 million project off of direct mail. You know how many contractors told me direct mail doesn't work out? One contractor told me direct mail never worked out. He tried it. He's been in business for 30 years, never gotten him a job. I told him, well, let's give it one more shot with us. Let's do this and that. He got 5 jobs off of the first run. And he was like, well, it actually works out. And I said, yes, it does work out when you give it to the person that knows how to make it work out. That's how it is. When you go to a doctor and the doctor is not experienced enough, it's going to kill you. If you go to the best doctor out there, no matter how hard that surgery is going to be, he's going to make it happen and pull it off. So right now, this is the belief that's actually costing you every single month, that you literally wrote down the entire channel as it's just bad experience and doesn't work out for you. And it just, you said ads are a waste of money, nobody can get me results, I'll stick with referrals even though it's not consistent, because this is how referrals work out. The third physiological option is the comfort trap. I want you to take a look at this exact calendar. So right now you are in March. Let's just say you're doing just okay. I'm filming this on that 23rd of March. So you'll see this thing as on the 23rd based on my calendar. June gets within 2 months, gets here. Busy season starts. Start making a little bit more money. Then you hit the peak season, which is mid of June. Keep doing this for a while in the summer, keeping yourself busy, but being busy is not always making a lot of money, because I know a lot of people that are very, very, very busy that make less than 10% of what I do make with my roofing company. And sometimes when I run numbers with them, I tell them what you're doing is wrong. This is where you need to put your money. This is how you need to invest your time, and you turn down opportunities. That's how you're going to make more money. And they say, yeah, but you wouldn't get enough opportunities to actually turn down ones. And I said, well, that's a problem. When you have a pipeline bringing you 50 appointments a month, and you see that pipeline filled out with appointments just before the month starts, you're going to go ahead and sit down and see which one of those homeowners, which one of those projects that are actually worth your time. So you go, let's just say out of 50, 20 that are big size projects that are going to make you, if you close 10 out of them, it's going to be 350,000 plus. You go ahead and say, well, I'm going to go to those 20 appointments first, make sure that I close the most amount of it. And when you close 10 to 15, let's just say you're bad at closing, only close 10 out of them, because when we do the qualification system, it does flag people as qualified based on budget, timeline, and project size. And right now, when you to the other 30 appointments that are small projects for you, or they don't make the most amount of money, let's just call it that, you're gonna be just, okay, you could squeeze in those projects between the days when you have time for them, and that's how you're going to maximize your capacity and your amount of money. That's how growth happens. So it literally goes August stays on, then September slows down, and this is where it starts slowing down, and October too slow. You start having problems with budget, over your payroll, your insurances, your overhead, truck payments, and all those kind of things. And this is where the opportunity window starts for starting something else and building a new pipeline for the winter. But a lot of people say, well, it's going to be slow anyways. Nobody's going to get me out of it, even though a lot of contractors I onboarded in September that off of the pipeline, because it was the only thing working for them out in December and November, they made around 300. I'm talking about one singular window company that made $350,000 in just November and December. So the guy just decided, I want to just go ahead and give this thing a shot, and let's just see what we'll be doing with it. And I said, well, those are the numbers he's gonna do. He's got the best sales reps out there. He goes ahead and sells the job straight first day, and we built an incredible system with that guy. So in the mood of doing construction work and getting remodeling and all those kind of services, but you still have people that would be interested. Yeah, the majority of them are not going to be interested. That's why if that pipeline is bringing you usually $300,000, $400,000 in December, when it's too slow, it's bringing you 200, 250,000. You're still making way more, way more than the contractors that are saying this thing doesn't work out for me because you didn't want to create a pipeline. Even though if it slows down, you're still printing money compared to the other contractors. So you regret right now that you didn't do anything, and right now you started running out of money in that busy season. The money from the busy season to all the way to December starting to actually fade away, and that struggle stays until March again. The same loop happens, and this is what kills all the businesses and all the contractors. So you see right now that comfort trap. Just you were trapped because you felt that this is comfortable for you. You're doing okay. You don't have enough money to do a change. You don't want to risk anything at that point, and that's what's just gonna keep you in that loop for the rest of your life. You've been in business for 20 years, and this has been happening to you since year 1 all the way to that year 20. So the real cost of the physiology right now is that your ego will cost you every single job just going out there to a contractor that is less experienced. The burned skeptic, it's just going to cost you that you're not investing in channels that are actually bringing you leads that are actually converting to jobs. And the comfort trap is costing you every slow season that you stick to that loop. And every year you have that slow season, you run out of money, you're afraid of running out of money. You've been doing it for 20 years and you're still proud of it that this is okay, that's what everybody does, except that your competitors are still pulling a lot of money, making a lot of money during that time. So that ego, as I said, it just estimated monthly cost 50 to 100 grand in lost opportunities from that ego. From the burn skeptical, the estimated monthly cost is literally 10 grand, 20 grand in wasted spend. 1,000, 2,000 wasted spend. I mean, if you spend money on Angie, if you spend money on channels that are not actually bringing you leads that actually convert, so you're burning 2 grand a month on something that just doesn't get you jobs. And those slow seasons were completely preventable and estimated monthly cost at $30,000 to $80,000 in lost revenue contractor. If you're a big contractor, this could be in millions, because I did work with a contractor that wanted us to do in the last quarter of 2025 to cover $1.2 million. And we ended up covering the first month $3 million off of one project and another small project that was $25,000. And the guy had to call it off because he didn't have enough capacity and manpower to even push more. And he got back to us literally in January and was like, let's do exactly what we did. And he just called it off for the last month, which was December. And we started again. And right now we are going on the path of making $5 million in this quarter. So monthly cost, if we want to talk about it, of that physiology, 80 to 100 to 180,000, as I said. So that's not a market problem. That's not a slow season problem. That's literally the physiology problem with a very specific price tag that all those contractors pay for, regardless that they know this is wrong. They could do what I'm saying, but they're just afraid because they feel it's too risky for them. So every contractor watching this video actually recognize at least one of those 3 barriers and realize that they have them. And right now, I'm just telling you, recognizing is the first step of you starting to solve the problem. But by you just recognizing it and not taking any action, it's just going to be a very expensive self-awareness for you. And those contractors that are actually already made it and are pushing $300,000, $400,000, regardless if it's a slow season, the on season, the off season, they did not work harder than you did. They just made a decision that their physiology was actually fighting all the time, regardless, and they wanted to just give it a shot and see if this thing gonna end up their struggle And this is what happened to them. That decision changed everything. So we are at the end of the video, and if you already recognized and one of those barriers that I did talk about, and you want to talk to me and let's just run your numbers and see what we can do for you, it's not going to be, you can just literally book a call using the link in the description, or go into my Instagram and send me a text message out there. DM me on Instagram, I mean. I'm not going to pitch you. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. We're just going to have a straight conversation, talk about your number. I'm going to exactly give you the number that you're losing with this physiology, and I'm going to give you the ways to do it. You can have me do them for you and create that pipeline for you, or you can just go ahead and at least acknowledge that problem. So when you tell people, when you brag about your business in the summer, I am busy, I'm turning down jobs in the summer, don't cry in the winter. And just show people around. When people see you, your friends see you, and your family members see you, oh, weren't you like in the summer turning down jobs? And nobody knows that you're actually crying in the winter because if you don't have any jobs and any money coming in. Just hit me up on Instagram or book the call so you could go straight to numbers and make things happen.